And so that's how SELFY was born. And here we are.
So just again, a little background. So we heard how SELFY was born, and you took us like, on that specific journey. But we all want to know like who you are, like who is Yahmeemah? Like what about Yahmeemah's personal life inspired you to do the work that you do? Not only SELFY, but just social work in general. So take us on that journey.
So to know about Yahmeemah is to know that I'm a very spirituality person. The spirit has to move me. And my family was based upon love. And so honor thyself and honor thy neighbors, to love them. That's who I am. And so in school, the kids will say Mama Prescott or Auntie Prescott. And I'm neither to them, but they feel comfortable calling me that. And so that love that I pour out, people see it, it's contagious, it's infectious. And so that's who I am. I strive to be, I strive to be a person of love and giving love, receiving love, and helping those who need love. A hug goes a long way. A pat on the back goes a long way. Encouraging words go a long way. So when people feel that, they see that, like I said, it's infectious and they want to be a part of the group because maybe that's something they haven't experienced.
So, jumping right into it, just a preface for you guys. The theme for this event is celebrating women who tell their stories, right? And basically, as a woman, right, or anyone who identifies as a woman, we experience a lot of different things that other people do not experience. And so that is the basis of what we're going to talk about today. So back in 2017, the Commission held a public hearing on sexual harassment in 2017, right? About a dozen women and youth-based organizations spoke on their lived experiences or second-hand accounts of their organizations' participants in regards to sexual harassment, gender-based discrimination, and bias. One thing all of those testimonies had in common, right, was how it adversely impacted the emotional, social, and mental well-being of all the women and young women involved, right? So again, just giving a bit of context, we're here to talk about how gender-based discrimination and bias impacts mental wellness, right? Just right along like your field. So my question for you is, a good portion of the work you do with SELFY addresses the trauma of young women. So from your professional standpoint, how does gender-based discrimination and bias impact mental wellness?
So that's a good question. How can I say this? So trauma affects anyone, right? Words have power, behavior has power. And so when someone is being told, hey, you don't look the way I do, or your hair is different than mine, or you're from the LGBT community, those things affect people mentally and emotionally. And sometimes people take that to heart and say, hey, I don't love myself because I keep getting, frowned upon for being who I really want to be. But in front of other people, I have to be this person that I claim to be, but I'm really not. And so those things take a control of a person's mental health because of the depression that can seep in, the anxiety that can seep in, sometimes suicidality and homicidality, bullying, shaming. Those things take control of a person's mental health if it's not, if SELFY is not helping children cope and using techniques to help them say, hey, no, I do love myself despite what others people feel, think, and or believe.
Definitely agree there. And, I don't have the specific statistics, but a lot of the young girls who either experience trauma or discrimination based on their gender, they want the help, but they don't receive the help. There's a large percentage of them who say, there's a large percentage of them who just don't get help at all, but some of them really do want it, but don't receive it, whether that be because they don't have the resources, they don't have the knowledge, they don't know who can help them, they don't know where to go. So again, just giving you, acknowledgement of the work that you do in terms of supporting these young women. And so my next question is, well, not really a question, but just a little bit of background. So I don't know if you guys know, some of you guys here are from like a educational background, so maybe, Kimberly Crenshaw. She is a civil rights advocate and leading scholar in critical race theory, and she actually coined the term intersectionality. So for those of you who do not know, intersectionality is defined as the interconnected nature of social categorizations such as race, class, and gender, and as they apply to a given individual or group. It is regarded as creating overlapping and interdependent systems of discrimination or disadvantage. So to further describe the reality of the people that are part of more than one disadvantaged group, Kimberly says, and I quote, "If you're standing in the path of multiple forms of exclusion, you're likely to be hit by both." And so before I go into the next question, the term intersectionality is very important because sometimes people don't realize that being part of a marginalized group comes with its own thing, right? But to be part of several marginalized groups come with a lot of things. So say, for example, I am a woman, but I'm a Black woman, right? And so, and I can be a woman, I'm a Black woman, I'm also an immigrant, right? And so, you know, a lot of those things impact, like, you know, our day-to-day lives. So my question for you is, can you describe what your experience has been like working with young women who are also part of other disadvantaged or marginalized groups?
So like yourself, I'm also born a woman and an African-American woman, so we're intersection right there.
Yeah.
And so when I have my groups with, you know, girls from all aspects of life, we talk about just loving you, no matter your race, your gender, your creed, your origin. Look in the mirror and see you, despite what others think and feel and believe. Because that self-love is very important. Because we live in a society that we can't change, we can change our mental health by instituting positive affirmations every day, mirror reflections, having groups to talk about issues just like this and concerns. And so it's very important that we hone in on this and let children know, youth know, that it doesn't matter if you're African American, Latina, Asian American. Love who you are, because once you walk out the door, we already have our strikes against us, right? We're already intersected. But you have to go out there and be your best self at all costs, you know?
Do you find it challenging, or maybe sometimes experience like maybe vicarious trauma when you're dealing with, you know, these young women? Like you're like, if you haven't experienced it for yourself, you're like, wow, you know, because you are the same as them, right? Like, do you find it challenging to like manage that when it comes to self-hate and the work that you do?
So, you know, again, my spirituality, living the way that I do live, you know, I go through certain things in life. And so I'm able to connect with some of my students, right? And have difficult and challenging conversations where they can see me and I can see them. We understand each other, we speak the same verbiage. And so the support is there. And sometimes it is challenging if I haven't experienced something. I can empathize and sympathize with them and say, wow. And then that makes me move the needle a little more to say, I really have to help you. I'm 47 years old and I've never experienced that. Let me find resources and other avenues to ensure that this particular young lady has all the tools that she needs and the support systems that she needs so that she could be successful.
Absolutely.
And her mental well-being.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. And so, you know, part of the work that we do here at the Commission is cultivating ways to serve diverse groups with diverse needs, right? Like what we were just talking about. You know, simply put, the members from some of our protected classes, whether it be gender, religion, creed, age, etc., they require different supports. Kind of going from like what we were just talking about. So my question to you is, how does your organization ensure, right, that you effectively give young women what they need in order to be well?
So We have to first put our mind as a young woman, take our mind back to when we were young women. We didn't have social media and different platforms as, you know, and TV shows that they're seeing now. And so these things that they're seeing now, sometimes it's a little poisonous, right? Because this is what the world wants you to be, or this is what you should be, your role model, your favorite music artist, your favorite, you know, basketball player. And this is what the world is showing us, that some of these negative things are okay. And SELFY, we say, you know what? Be you. Be your authentic self. Celebrate that. It's okay to walk in a room and, you know, maybe your hair's not long enough, or you don't have this, or you don't have that. That's fine. Be you. Be your authentic self. And so our workshops and different tools and techniques that we encourage our girls to uplift them and motivate them, teaches them and provides these necessary tools to say, you don't have to be that person you saw in the video. You don't have to be that person that's on the stage. Be you, love you, and celebrate you. And it's okay. It's fine.
It is most definitely.
Accept you first.
Yeah. You know, like, so the commission, right, you know, and other agencies like yourself, there's just so many other organizations that serve you. And from the work you do with SELFY as well as being a social worker, what are some things that you think that we can do to be better in terms of fostering and supporting the youth throughout New York City? Specifically young women.
So one, I'll say hire SELFY to support and empower our female teen youth. Two, I would say to continue to have platforms such as this, conversations, workshops, and seminars, so that we can, you know, get our voices out to our youth, because they don't know about these things, right? So we have to encourage them, and we have to continue to show them the way. So platforms just like this, workshops, seminars, and different organizations, CBOs, to host these kind of events and bring awareness to our girls, to our youth. It's necessary.
Do you feel like collaboration between, you know, these CBOs will increase the level of support throughout the city?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Each one teach one. That's one of our SELFY models. Each one teach one. It takes a village. And so we have to pull on one another. We have to be unified as women, as educators, so that we can uplift the youth that are behind us, because they are our next generation. So partnerships are amazing. I love partnerships.
She will make sure she repeated that.
Right.
I love partnerships.
And the last one, was that the last one?
No, that.
Another, you said was another suggestion?
Oh, that's it. You can get multiple. So, I mean, I'm not, you know, we just wanted to have that quick conversation. And we wanted to open up the floor to see if you have like any questions, or like, you know, either for me, myself, or Miss Yahmeemah. So feel free. If not, that's okay. But if you do have questions, we suggest that you ask. Anyone? Yes, Ms. Jada.
Does the commission partner with public schools or charter schools or anything at all to do some of the work that Ms. Prescott was talking about?
We do. We actually have a few connections with my brother's keeper. Again, for myself, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen my sister's keeper yet, but definitely my brother's keeper. So I feel like this is, you know, a great opportunity to make sure that we connect, so that we can get, you know, those support services within the school. And that was also maybe like another question I should have asked. Like, how important do you think that having these sort of support groups and, you know, community-based organizations within schools, how do you feel like that will change the trajectory of young women who may not otherwise have that support?
So I'll say this. In order for anyone to be successful, their mental health have to be successful first. You can't invite me into a workspace or a school if I'm having traumatic experiences or I've had a crisis, right? We gotta think about ourselves. When things go wrong at home, it kind of throws off your day. But we're 30, 40 years old. How do you think 14-year-olds is handling that situation? And so at home, they're teaching you morals and values and respect. And at school, they're teaching you academics and ELA and social studies. When does this social and emotional learning happen?
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's pivotal that this is in the school so that kids are able to provide the necessary tools that they need to do to these plans, right? They have to be an academic scholar. When they go home from school, some of them have to be the big brothers and sisters and cook and prepare meals and things of that nature. So learning cell and putting it in their everyday life can definitely support them in their mental health and just encourage them to do better and succeed in life. Know how to manage their emotions, which is one of the K-cell competencies as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I appreciate that question too, because I feel like, sometimes we miss the mark when it comes to how we support, how we support young women across New York City in terms of like who they are, where they come from, things like that. So I definitely appreciate that conversation. I think that is something that we need to be more intentional about when we partner with these other CFOs. Thank you. Anyone else? I see that.
Does the commission have any portion of their platform that assists parents, right? Because learning starts at home. But if parents don't have the tools to know and understand how to have those conversations around social and emotional learning, what does that look like as a parent? Having those difficult conversations with your child that around gender, around sexuality, around race, around all of those different things that they contend with every day. You know what I mean? So if the child can't have that conversation with their parent and it's not offered in the schools, then that's where the whole
That is such a really good question. As the leader advisor for youth initiatives, right, that is something that I thought about and, moving forward, definitely we'll try to implement, or let me take that back, be intentional about implementing, because, the community is an adaptive system. So we need multiple moving parts. So we need the home life, we need the school life, we need the community, we need all those things. And it's, I feel like we're missing that. But it's definitely something that is in consideration, right? And, something that we have assessed, in terms of making sure that we bring it forth. Because we need all the parts to be working and well oiled together so that we can have a better outcome. Definitely. My question to, whether, Yahmeemah or your staff, like, right? Is that something that you do at SELFY in terms of holding workshops for parents? So I know that you go in schools, right? Are you able to, or is that something that you guys think about? Are you able to, have those types of conversations with parents?
At this point, we're focusing on students as we branch out.
Yeah.
As a holistic approach.
Yeah.
Right, because mental wellness has to be a holistic approach, and all of the parts have to be together. Like you said, that would be our goal, our end goal, to have workshops for parents around having different conversations and being supported and learning how to actively listen. And if we teach it to the students and we teach it to the parents, then we could create a system where there's a wholeness.
Right. No, I definitely agree. I guess one of my branch off questions is like, what do you feel like how we can blend what we do at the commission, when we talk about gender bias and gender discrimination, like how can we combine that and the work that you do, or do you think that it would be helpful if we combine our work and your work and develop a curriculum? Like how important do you feel that would be, or
That is very important because, they both wash each other's hands.
Yeah.
And so in doing that, it would be great actually, right? It's good because we're teaching our kids about gender bias and discrimination and things of that spectrum. And then we're also saying, who am I? Right? That's one of the groups that we do in SELFY. Who am I? Identity and identity acceptance and being able to accept yourself for who you are. So that connection would be amazing if we actually pull that off,
Yeah.
that would be amazing.
And I definitely like in hearing you talk, right? Like, what is, you know, so like say for example, at the commission, when we do these workshops and we have these trainings like peer mediation, and she speaks, you know, specifically for, young women, and then we have Be Loud, Be Proud, which is targeted, targets the LGBTQ youth, or, just the community in general. One of our goals is to help them or foster an environment where they are able to then go out and advocate, right, with the things that they've learned, and is there a component within SELFY, like after you've done this great soul work, that's the foundation of, cultivating confident young women, is there an advocacy part where they now go out, into the community and, spread the good word?
So we do have a ceremony at the end of SELFY, My Sister's Keeper, where we go out to have lunch or dinner as a whole, the team as well as the girls. And we sit around the table and talk about what the SELFY do for them. How did it help them improve their lack of confidence or their social and emotional needs? And with that being said, within SELFY, we choose student teachers and student leaders so that they can see their peers leading groups like, so I'm sitting in the back and you're watching your own sister lead these groups on who am I, and boundaries and limit settings and things of that nature. And when we go out to the communities, we put them at the forefront. You tell about SELFY. This is our experience, but you're the youth and you're getting this information. And so they're telling what SELFY is about and things of that nature.
Yeah, and I just, just to piggyback off of that, it's very important to not only teach the work, but make sure that they are equipped with the skills and the techniques and the methods to then go out and continue that work, right? Because just as SELFY is a small organization, there are other city agencies that are small as well. We're a small city agency, so we cannot be everywhere at once. So that is a very important component, making sure that we equip them with the skills so that they can now go out and do the work and fill in the gaps where we can't. So yeah, definitely appreciate that. Yes, Ms. Parker?
And then also they have to be comfortable in their own skin, in their own mindset to go out and do that work and advocate. Because as a counselor, I get a lot of scholars come to me. They're not comfortable opening up to their parents. They can't tell their parents certain things. So they reach out to us because they feel comfortable talking and speaking to us. And like Ms. Prescott said, we build that relationship where, after a while you're going to call me mom, you call me auntie, and we appreciate it. But it's a different kind of mom and auntie relationship as opposed to mom and child, daughter relationship.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
I have a question when you're done.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
So I wanted to know, in how many schools in New York City you're present?
So I'm a social worker by day, and so the two schools that I worked at was for 5 years each. So in each school, I did My Sister's Keeper. And so from that is SELFY, and this is SELFY now. So my Sister's Keeper is still being run to this day. I actually have to go tomorrow. Excuse me.
In 2 schools, you said?
Yes. Well, right now I'm in one school.
Okay.
I'm a social worker by day, and I just do it as a hobby. I just do it as a hobby in my school. I'm counseling. I'm going on trips. I'm having My Sister's Keeper. I'm doing all the things on my job duties, but I do my MSK just because I love it and the girls love it. Sometimes it's a waiting list for girls to come in and share their ideas, their thoughts, their feelings, cry, laugh. It's just a big sisterhood. And so in this moment, I'm at one school, the school that I currently work in. But any school that I go to, I propose it like, hey, I do a group called My Sister's Keeper. You want it? Let me show you how it is. But we decided, let's just take our show on the road. This time, maybe other people need to receive this message. And so we're opening it up not only to schools, but juvenile systems and group homes and just safe, other places where young ladies may need to hear this message. So we're opening the door, and this is what SELFY is about today. We're opening up the doors to other schools and other platforms so this message could be received.
I am so glad you brought up the ecosystem, right? Because it doesn't always happen this way, but the work should have already been done previously so that that was not the line or the way they meant to end up in the legal system. But we can't always prevent that. So, you know, I guess my question is like, what does SELFY's vision look like when it comes to juveniles who are involved, who are court involved, legal system involved?
To actually encourage and uplift and motivate them to say, okay, you're here, this is just a portion of your life. However, continue to do the right thing, positive affirmations, behavior, all of those things can help you to do better as an adult, because it's not how you start, it's how you finish too. And so at 15 years old, a person who's in the juvenile system, that doesn't dictate who they're gonna be later on in life. And so we're there to say, you can do this, you got this. Believe in yourself and give them those tools that they need so that they can believe in themselves. We don't know what that person went through from age 1 to 15, which is probably why they're in here anyway. But SELFY we strive to come in and say, we got you, let's go sister, let's go, we got you. And you'll be surprised. You know, even some of our own students, we all worked at the school together, and some of the students said, well, SELFY changed their lives. It kept them from, being down and depressed, or having, suicidality or homicidality. People were into it, and it made a difference. It made a difference. We saw these differences and said, well, did you check out such and such? Look at her here. Oh, she's doing this, or she's doing that. You see the change. Every group we had, and it was like this person got better, and within themselves, that they were able to be confident, that they would be able to be in love with themselves. And we have a hashtag that Ms. Reed created, which is selflessly in love. And you have to be selflessly in love with yourself. You do.
We can talk about that, but I definitely agree. But just taking some of like those key points, and I know this person's going to be so upset that I'm putting them on the spot, but they just have more knowledge on this specific topic than I do right at this current moment, and we are working together in order to develop that sort of work. So my colleague Chris, who does a lot of work in terms of, can you just come up, just move up so everybody can hear you? Sorry. You can sit in one of the seats just so that you don't have to yell all the way from the back.
Oh, nah, my voice carries. Everybody can hear you, right?
Okay, beautiful.
I'm gonna use mic.
Okay, beautiful. So can we just talk about the work and like the curriculum we're developing and the programming we're developing in terms of making sure we reach youth in different spaces, like say for example the legal system, maybe possibly shelters, like can you just very brief, just elaborate on that.
All right, so yeah, currently in the planning stages of our curriculum work, but to introduce myself, my name is Chris Smith. I am the Deputy Director of Curriculum at New York City Commission on Human Rights. So a lot of the youth curriculum that we currently have, I had a hand in developing or editing or enhancing. So really, we kind of want to make sure that we transition into a way where we aren't the adults in the space giving youth information, but really engaging them in a way where they can be proactive in addressing the different issues that they see within their spaces. So that's the kind of conversations that we are trying to have in our curriculum that we are developing. So she speaks being an example of like really implementing action plan components so young people can address these specific issues in their space. So really talking about the examples of the intersections of gender and mental health. So I'm a person that's a rule of 3 person. So talking with young people like, yo, what are the top 3 issues in school that you're going through right now that's impacting your mental wellness? After listening to those 3, okay, what are some things you feel would be best to address these issues? And then as we go through this brainstorming stage, we really come together and say, what is the most feasible to implement in the short term? So really teaching them critical thinking, teaching them how to organize and structure a plan, and then making sure that they take the necessary steps to implement that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Very well said. just, wrapping up, what is your vision, in terms of like, let's just say, for example, working with agencies like such as ourselves, the Commission on Human Rights, how do you see SELFY collaborating, and, branching out in order to serve like the greater community?
So you just said it, branching out as best as we possibly can to be infectious on purpose, right? With love, with acceptance of who we are and our authentic selves, and to celebrate that. And so we got to push the needle by any means necessary in a positive way. And so SELFY and our team, we ready.
Thank
We ready.
you, thank you. So just to wrap it up, we definitely appreciate SELFY for coming out and having this conversation, even though, we want to sit here and talk all day, because we can. But it's very important to just have these conversations, especially with other organizations who do similar work, but maybe just don't have the knowledge that you have or the knowledge that I have, and then vice versa. Sometimes the services that they provide, we don't know, and so collaboration is important. So I just wanted to thank you for coming here and taking the time to talk about that, because everything starts with a conversation. It will not end. The work we do will not end with a conversation, but it starts with a conversation. So yes.
Last question, what are the areas you believe in New York City that would need your services the most?
The whole 5 boroughs. All 5 boroughs. Oh, so thank you for having us.
Yes.
My team appreciates this. Thank you for opening the door for us and giving us the opportunity to stand on the She Speaks platform to discuss what SELFY is and how do we incorporate SELFY in our everyday lives to support young ladies. If you are interested in SELFY, you can go to our Instagram at my_SistersKeeper LLC. And you can also go to the website, which is www.selfymsk.org. And please, we have some brochures and some SELFY compact mirrors for you in the back as a parting gift and a token of our appreciation. And for you, Ms. Hudson, we also, because you are our sister. I'm sorry. Ms. Barfield, I'm sorry. We also have a wonderful present for you because you are our sister as well.
Thank you.
And so we gifted you a t-shirt for having us and for also being our sister. You are truly a
I
gem.
appreciate
We
it.
thank
Thank
you.
you, Ms. Eichmann.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
for
much.
that.
Thank you.
Well, with that being said, we're going to wrap it up, but feel free to just take the next few minutes to exchange information or network or ask any further questions that you may have. But I am truly appreciative of the time we spent here together, and I just hope that this is just the first of many.
It is. I
Yeah.
also wanted to interject and say, on April 10th, we'll be having a virtual soft launch. So if you have any organizations that you want to send my way,
Yes.
please email them to me, and so that we can send out a blast email just introducing ourselves as we open this door to self-love and this journey to heal our young female adolescents. Please and thank you.
Thank you.
And we
Oh,
are
one more.
one more. We're in the event that we are trying to plan a Juneteenth celebration too. That will be our in-person launch in June. So just be looking out for those emails as well. We would like you all to please come out
Yes.
and support SELFY as we embark on this new journey of love. So those are 2 dates.
Beautiful. So April 10th and
Is the
Juneteenth.
virtual soul. Yep.
And Juneteenth.
And around Juneteenth.